A very beautiful evening to everyone around the world, those ones in India here and those ones outside India. My very good name is OG Sunday Michael. I am the International Relation Officer for WOP No Talks. All right, in today's event is day three of today's conference, which is Plan Your Future Campaign, POUP Initiative 1.0. We're starting off today, like I said earlier, is our day three of this conference, which has been going on for a while now. I want to officially welcome everyone to Plant Your Future Campaign initiative of POUP 1.0, a comprehensive conference on several essential issues of climate change with educatory guidance from UNICEF, a resemblance of sustainable development program. And the topic for today is global toxicity. And with me, I have in the room here with me two eligible people, two dignitaries that will be speaking to us from West Africa, Nigeria, to be precise. On this topic, they will be sharing their view with us on this topic. And lastly, before I call up the speakers, I would like to appreciate some group of companies for this well done job for this conference to be a success. I would like to appreciate the media partner, which is Milk Break, and the beverage partner, the Brinkies, and then the advertisement partner, Lumber Updates, the blogging partner, Technohoods, organizing partner, LWT. And also, I still want to also appreciate special partner, Startup Times. And of course, our hosts for this conference, WOPNO Talks. Our first speaker for today, Mr. Usman Lawal. Usman, sir. Yes, before you speak, sir, I would like to share the biodata of Mr. Usman Lawal Usman so we can actually know a little about him, or if not more. Very briefly, Mr. Usman Lawal Usman is from Nigeria, working as a lecturer in the Department of Biology, Faculty of Natural Applied Sciences, in the University of Umar Musa Yaradua, the late Umar Musa Yaradua. May his gentle soul rest in peace, even though I still remember his good works before he passed on as the former president of Nigeria. Okay, and that university is in Katsina State, Katsina, Nigeria. Presently, Mr. Usman Lawal Usman is a PhD scholar in the Department of Environmental Science in School of Basic Science and Researches in Shada University in India, Greater Noida, Knowledge Park 3. Mr. Usman Lawal Usman, he had his bachelor's and master's degree in biology, hydrobiology, and ectotoxicology from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Nigeria. Right, he has also published many research articles, review papers, conference proceedings, and book chapters in reputable journals. Whoa, congratulations, this is beautiful. I love this. Now, he is a member of Nigeria Society for Microbiology, NSM, Ecological Society of Nigeria, which is EXIN in short, Association for Aquatic Sciences of Nigeria, AASN, Fishery Society of Nigeria, FISCON for short, and Botanical Society of Nigeria, BOSON. And finally, one of his last achievements here, which I have with me, is also a reviewer with Nigeria Journals of Technological Research. Wow. International Journal of Applied Biological Research, Biotechnology Journal International, UMYU, Journal of Microbiology Research. So please, I want to throw the button to you right now, sir. So please tell us, what is your view or what is your take on today's topic? Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me. My name is, as you said, Usman Lawal Usman, and I'm glad to be with the POUP Plant Your Future Initiative conference, and it's a privilege, and I feel happy to be associated with this conference. The presentation I have today is on the third day agenda, which is global toxicity. And I would like to present my PowerPoint to be on the water pollution and climate impact. When we say water pollution globally, we all know how the water crisis is taking place, be it at local level and at global level or at global scale. The chart display shows a typical representation of an object or a physical phenomenon that occur. As you can see, this is a plant which tend to be dry. And the soil, when you look at the soil tends to be rough and look more of drought in nature. While the tap here gushing out water. And the surface, the atmospheric surface also is not precipitating any rainfall. Someone may begin to wonder, what is really happening? What are the causes of these incidents? Where does our water come from? Normally, we expect the water to come from the precipitation as a source of rainfall, ocean water, rivers, lakes, etc., in which the animal and everyone tend to depend on. But basically, the impact of human and other anthropogenic activities caused by man tend to change the climate nature, thereby making the water toxic and creating harmful environment to the society and to the human at large. How much water or how much fresh water do we have on the earth? Basically, when you look at the percentage of the entire earth, we know that the earth, 70% of our earth is covered by water. Within that 70%, 97% is sea or ocean water, which is salty, which is not good for consumption, direct consumption, and it cannot be used directly for some industrial activities. 2% is polar ice caps. Only 1% is fresh, drinkable, or potable water that is sustaining the entire atmosphere or entire earth. Someone may begin to wonder, this 1% that is sustaining the entire earth, is the 1% safe? The answer is no. The 1% of the fresh water which is potable and drinkable faces a lot of contamination and pollution. Now, what is the water pollution, or how the water tend to be polluted? From the scheme above, you can see various ways in which the water tend to get polluted. Either from the untreated sewage, which may end up into the aquatic environment, thereby harming or killing the organisms present in the water body. Animal waste, run off from fertilizers, run off from some treated sewage, which tend to deposit into the water aquatic system, thereby making the water unsafe and polluted. Similarly, what is water pollution? Water pollution occurs when harmful or toxic substances are released into the water, contaminating the quality of it for other users. As you can see in the image, Imagine these two young people swimming in this kind of water. Someone may begin to wonder what is happening? What caused all this dirty into the water? All this debris, plastic, trash in the water. How comes they are found in the water? The simple answer is anthropogenic activities of human. These are the sources or some of the pollutants that tend to affect the water body. For example, petroleum, hydrocarbon, plastic, sewage, chloroform, lubricants, and many more. Now, what are the types of the pollution? Basically, we all know that we have two major types of water pollution. There is what we refer to the point source pollution and non-point source pollution. As you can see from the diagram, the point source pollution is very clear in such a way that the water is polluted via a source traceable point. Meanwhile, the non-point, it can be from different environments coming together from different sources into a single channel that empties into the large water bodies. Now, basically, the main two types of pollution, apart from the point source and the non-point source, the water, or rather the surface water and the groundwater pollution are the major problem affecting our earth. This surface water and the groundwater, as I said earlier, due to the activities of human or the anthropogenic activities caused by human, tend to pollute and contaminate the water, thereby making the water unsafe for use both for the aquatic organisms and for the human consumption. The surface water pollution can be from various anthropogenic activities. For example, industrial discharge, which comes from factories, industries, oil pollution, other industrial activities which tend to emit different harmful gases into the atmosphere, thereby contaminating the atmosphere and rendering the atmosphere polluted, thereby causing different abnormality. For example, like the acidic rain and other harmful gases that are being released due to different activities in the industries. Now, what are the effects of this pollution? Basically, this water pollution tends to lower the DO in the water, that is the oxygen demand in the water. Now, this oxygen demand, aquatic organisms tend to survive and live by the availability of this oxygen. Depletion of this oxygen inversely affects those organisms living in the aquatic environment. And also eutrophication, that is the accumulation of nutrient or increasing the nutrient in the water, which make it eutrophied, thereby depleting the nutrient present or depleting the oxygen present in the water in which the organism feed on or tend to utilize. The next is bioaccumulation, which can happen, or biomagnification as a result of consuming that polluted or untreated water. Minimata disease, which is a famous disease as a source which occur due to the contamination of chromium, which is a heavy metal that tend to that affects the people living in the Minamata environment during the pandemic, during the scenario. Pesticide also, they are harmful to aquatic life. Dyes and inorganic compounds also induce changes in animal. This is also a typical scheme showing how the eutrophication tend to affect the biota or the aquatic organism, thereby making them or affecting their normal activities, in which that it causes death and other changes in their system. Alongside the effect in the environment, it includes giving or producing toxic water, which is harmful to the environment or which is harmful to human for consumption. Thermal heating, which can also affect the biota or the organisms living in the aquatic environment. The effect on human also include diseases, which the contaminated water tend to cause a lot of disease to the human. Drinking contaminated water, swimming in polluted water, contact with chemically polluted water can result to different ailments or different disease in which the human can be infected. As you can see from the chart, from the scheme, these are some of the effects of the pollution caused by human to this very animal, the birds and some of the fishes. As you can see here, this fish is deprived from oxygen. The water is polluted in such a way that the oxygen present in a dissolved oxygen is not being utilized by the fish due to the pollution which depletes the dissolved oxygen present in the aquatic environment. Now, what can we do to stop or to reduce the pollution of the water? Because we all know that water is life, water sustains life. Among what we can do to reduce the pollution is we use green manure instead of commercial inorganic fertilizer in our farmland, because all these chemical or fertilizer that we use in our farmland, they tend to end up in aquatic environment, thereby adding pollution or adding more harm to those aquatic biota, which is, if the aquatic biota are harmed, definitely the end will be in human through via the process of food chain or food web. The next is we should minimize the use of the pesticide, especially near bodies of water. Yet, even if we use the green manure or the natural manure for the plant, then use of pesticide in order to control the farm yield or to control the pest should also be minimized, and if possible, green pesticide should also, or biological pesticide should also be encouraged. Do not use water freshness in toilets. We should try to use less contaminated or less toxic chemicals, especially in the toilet or in our laundries. Do not flush unwanted medicine down the toilets. This is most of the habit of some people, but they tend to flush down some of medicine in the toilet, which it may end up in a sewage, thereby going down to the main water body, which can add more pollution to the water. Alongside, these are some of the groundwater pollution solution to groundwater pollution, among which is find substitute for toxic chemical. As much as possible, less toxic chemical should always be patronized whenever in need. Install monitoring wells near landfills and underground tanks. Require leak detectors on underground tanks. Banning of hazard waste disposal in landfill and injection wells. Storage of harmful liquid in above ground tanks with leaks detection and collection system. This should all be encouraged. One more important thing is create awareness, spread awareness to the toxic or to the harmful effects of the anthropogenic activities of human, both to himself and to the aquatic living or to the biota living in the aquatic environment. Also, we should encourage ourselves in participating in cleanup. As you can see from this chart, these people, they volunteer to go to the water body or to go to the ocean and collect some particle or plastic or trash that are being deposited. And mainly this deposition of trash happen during some occasions or during some festivities. For example, going for holidays, vacations, they tend to utilize different plastic material in which that they can cause harm to the aquatic and which directly or indirectly affect human. Rivers should not be used for washing clothes or bathing animals. This is typical to some countries. You see people washing clothes, adding more nutrients or chemicals to the water body. Harvesting of rainwater to meet water requirements is very important. Dam and embankment must be created in order to prevent water from water flooding. The rivers must not be contaminated. The dead bodies, plastic, and other non-degradable substances shouldn't be thrown in sea or any water body. Now, still on the solution, here are some of the suggestions to minimize water pollution. 1. Prevent groundwater contamination. Greatly reduce non-point runoff. Reuse treated wastewater for irrigation. Afforestation, that is encouraging planting of plant trees. Find substitute for toxic pollutants, especially green, patronize green substance or biological substance instead of chemical toxic substances. Work with nature to treat sewage, and more especially the 4 R's. Practice these 4 R's: refuse, reduce, recycle, and reuse is very important. Reduce source waste, reduce water, air, and soil pollution. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Usman Lawal Usman. You have really given us a good insight at the complete, I would like to say, in a deeper understanding. Trust me, the content which you have presented and with would I say the heaviness, yes, let me use the word heaviness of your content, it is enough for people to understand, our viewers around the world to understand what you've explained so far. Believe me, I remember in those days when we were very young, back in the village in Africa, there is this restriction: we shouldn't take our bath in a particular river. Now, from the explanation, I'm able to understand why we're restricted then from bathing in that particular river, because that is the same river where water for drinking and outdoor purposes, especially for drinking and cooking, is used. So when human beings go there to bath, it will definitely cause a problem to our health. It will definitely be dangerous to our health. By the time the water or same water that is being used, or people bath inside the river and then we use the same water to drink and cook, then it is dangerous. Thank you so much, Mr. Usman Lawal Usman. Like I said, viewers around the world, with what you have been able to share today, nobody will be a novice or nobody will be ignorant of global toxicity anymore. Thank you once again.
You're